There's some wins. So we're in week 3 this week. This is our PM session, and I want to know how you guys are doing this week. So Gina already shared her win in the morning session. She did a video. She stretched herself a little bit, sent it to her clients, and now we just got to wait and see if they like it or not. So an excellent entry into making videos. It was a little more comfortable for her. Am I right doing it that way, Gina?
Yeah, and I think that, but little by little is going to help me just, I guess, not be so nervous.
Yeah, baby steps, right? Well, I love it. All right, so I want to hear from a couple other people. Who's got a win, big, small, that they want to share? Vicky, how about you?
I was going to say something anyway, so here goes.
Good.
But I did a handwritten note, and it was to a potential buyer. He had reached out to me. We won't know anything really until next month, but I did go on and write just a handwritten note, just thanking him for even considering me, and just told him what I could offer once we got closer to when we start looking or shopping for properties.
Well, that's good. I
It
think
felt good to write it also.
yeah,
It did.
good. Now, is this a new thing for your business, or have you done it in the past?
I have not, so it is. I mean, I've always sent thank you notes for, once I've done closings, but not just to send a handwritten note in the middle of.
And what a great way to fill that space in between
Right.
the time that he's ready and now. So,
Yeah.
Well done. All right, who else? Veronica, you have any wins for the week? Oh, you're muted.
Unfortunately, I don't.
Why not?
I am trying to find strategies on working this. I have a primary job that is super demanding. Plus, I'm on a homeowners association board, so I'm going to have to let something go so that I can be more dedicated to my business.
Okay. Are you a secret agent at your other job?
I am.
Oh no.
Yeah, it could be a conflict of interest. I work in the executive office for Santander Consumer USA. It's an auto financing company. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I have a few people that do know about it, but it's a big company. It's probably 50,000 people that work for that company. So yeah.
So,
but I am working on being forming my own community since I'm on the board there. So that's something that I've started with just meeting the board members and getting email addresses and being in charge of some of the events in the community. So I do have a few things going on. I did get a lease of an apartment to a coworker.
okay.
That knows I'm an agent, and then she referred me to somebody that's leasing, and the leasing department, they paid $300, so that was $600. So
Sounds like a win.
Yeah,
right.
She's like, I don't have any wins. Let me just rattle off 3 or 4 here, and then so that's good. And it is a challenge, the position you're in. So
it is very
to find how can you be most effective and how most efficient. So
yeah.
But I think positioning yourself and taking advantage of being in the HOA is awesome.
Yes. So we have a new management, HOA management, so they're very flexible and just a lot of things that's coming to fruition here. So it's really good.
Okay. Stay the course.
Because I have 320 email addresses that I have access to and telephone numbers. So yeah, it helps.
Perfect. So you can do the email, you can send letters, and then when they see in person, the bell's gonna
all click together. Yeah.
That's perfect.
And then there's a neighborhood next door that no agent is over. So yeah.
All right, you got some things cooking. Don't be so hard on yourself. Just stay focused. Yeah. It's a marathon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. All right.
Kevin, I do have one more thing. I forgot that I had reached out to my church, and it's a very large church, just to do a home buyer seminar, and they're very receptive to the idea. And when I spoke to the person who's in charge of approving it, he even said that he once used to be in real estate and he would even help me put it together. So I'm working on that.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Now, are you going to partner with a lender and have them?
I am. Yes. And I've already met with them or talked to them on the phone, and we're meeting next Tuesday to talk about it.
Yeah. All right. You guys got to give yourself some credit. All right. We're doing things. It just doesn't always show up right away. So thankfully, we had a light week as far as reporting our numbers. I'm going to share this with you. Give me 1 second. Of course, I never have the right screen pulled up. Let's take a look at things. Oh, some people reported. Wow. Someone had a huge week. That's why. Someone reported over 100 contacts. But they're not here to share with us what they did. So, but this is we're not trending in the right direction when it comes to number of contacts. So we started out strong with 300 down to 2. We're losing like 40 to 50 a week. And part of that is less people are reporting. So who did make all of their contacts this week? 25.
I didn't do 25, I did 16.
Okay.
But I
What's
struggled.
your goal? Is your goal 25 or do you
My goal is 25,
All right.
but 16 was the most I've done, and kind of had a busy week at work last week. It was busy.
Okay.
So I kind of on my lunch break went in the car, had a couple of meetings, called people. I just have just on a piece of paper, just wrote down names that are in my chime from last year. So I just started contacting them.
Okay. So I'm glad you said this. So I want to ask you. So it sounds like you were reaching out to people that you haven't talked to in a while.
Right.
And this week is about script. So what were you saying? How'd you break the ice? How'd you reach out to them?
Well, I didn't get in touch with anyone, but I did call, left a voicemail, and then I text my digital business card.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I've been sending emails also.
Okay, good. Cool. So no responses at the moment?
Maybe 2, but not a lot.
Okay. So where'd the other 14 come from?
Just some of them are referrals from my rental clients from last year. Some of them signed up through Facebook. So I have them on drip campaigns, but I've never called them.
Okay.
So I've just emailed. So I'm trying now to make my calls.
Okay, good. So, all right, we're moving forward then, right? Getting the personal connection, trying to have that conversation.
Right.
All right. Who's been doing script practice? Well, I saw a lot of eyes turn away from their screen.
I did one day.
One day? Okay.
But
Who else? Even one day. What's the hesitation?
I took down some from because I started to get ahead. Well, okay. I started to because I feel like I'm behind. This is Jackie. I feel like I'm behind because because I was on vacation and then I was sick. But anyways, those are excuses. So I tried working ahead to this week, and I got some of the wording for like the FISBOs, which is something that I would want to do. I just been a little scared about it. So like so I wrote down some of the questions that I could potentially ask, and stuff that they would probably objections that they would probably reply to.
Yeah. So we talked about this early in the earlier session too, but where's the fear come from? Is it not knowing what to say? Is it not having
Yes,
practice what to say?
not knowing what to say, right?
Okay. So in our script booklet, we have options for you. Of course, it might not cover everything, but so I'm hearing, I think this common thing, people don't know what to say, but they're also not practicing their scripts and figuring it out. So there's definitely a disconnect. And this is basically every group of agents I've ever worked with. So Jackie, do you have people that you could practice with? I mean, I think,
Yes,
yeah. So do you think this week you could find someone that does for sale by owners that might be willing to help you out?
yes.
Cool.
You can go find somebody.
Because I think a beauty of being in a brokerage the size of your guys is there's going to be people on the same mission, on the same path, with the same interests that are going to be willing to help you out.
Yes.
So, like, what in your research, what did you find, or what really stuck out to you, or made you think, okay, I could use this for the for sale by owners?
Because it's like very conversational. I mean, I think I'm just I'm overthinking it too
Mhm.
much. And it's, you know, from the stuff that I wrote, like it was 6 little questions that that were written there. And I thought to myself, that's like a conversation. I don't need to be like, you know, like a whiz, you know, to know all this. I mean, it's just casual conversation, really.
Mhm.
I mean, one of the questions is, um, let me see, as simple as, are you still accepting offers on your home? You know?
Mhm.
So that's, I mean, that's an easy question.
It's pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
And I think a big one with the for sale by owners is, well, because I mean, who gets this all the time? I'm not paying a realtor commission.
Uh-huh.
Like, okay, fine. So is it why is that an issue for you? Is it that you don't want to pay a commission, or that you want to net the most amount of money possible?
Mhm.
You know?
And then another question, I guess, to follow that could be like, that I wrote down, how long are you willing to try to sell your own home before you hire a professional?
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
So I think we talked about this too. When you ask questions, you don't have to rely on yourself to figure out
Right.
the content is. They'll tell you, right? So
Mm.
why, if they are going to net the most amount of money using a realtor, why is that?
Mhm.
So there's a few things, right? But
Mhm.
basically, the studies find that if you sell for sale by owner, typically you only get 87 to 91% of your list price. Now, I'm no dummy. I know the market's really been in the favor of sellers, so it might be a little bit higher. But I'll bet the farm that it's not what you get as a working with a realtor, where it's 99 to 103%. And I've seen it go up to as high as 120% with offers I've put in. You know, so why else should they work with a realtor, folks? For sale by owner. You guys have any insight?
They just want, I mean, trying to do it themselves. I just don't think it'll be the same type of marketing or advertising that they would get if they were working with a realtor.
Yeah. So, and you might be able to figure, Mr. Seller, you might be able to figure some of that stuff out, get eyes on it through Zillow,
Right.
take your own pictures. But you know what? Sometimes it's not what you do, it's how well you do it and the follow through in which you have in the tasks. So I do this for a living. I'm a professional. I have a network of people that can help us market this. And if you give me 30 minutes of your time, I can sit down, show you my marketing plan and what I do to get a home sold, and we can see if it might be a good fit for you. You know? And Jackie, did you run across this in anything I've said in your research?
Yes. Well, some of the questions, like, well, yes. And also one of the questions that I really liked was, well, when your home sells, where are you going to be moving to?
Mhm.
You know, because that's another purchase he has to make.
Yeah, and that's great, right? Because it
Mhm.
takes it off the selling side. All right, if you're not willing to talk about that yet, maybe you need a few weeks, as you said in your previous one, you can use that and say, I'd be happy to help you find, right? Build a relationship from there.
Yes.
So it seems like you kind of know what you want to say,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But maybe a little practice would give you the confidence.
Yeah, because I think that I beat around the bush too much,
Mhm.
and like I'm afraid of being too direct and being turned away. So then I overthink it, but it's not that complicated.
Yeah. So is anyone here on the call also interested in working with for sale by owners? Tarsha, Anna. So Jackie, there's two people. Would you guys be willing to work with Jackie? I'm putting you all on the spot right now. Looking around.
Yes.
Yeah, I took a for sale by owner class. It was like they called it like FSBO/expired listings and like how to obtain them and what to say.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean I'm not the best. I've never done it before, but I've been kind of on the same track as you. Like I want to reach out, but I'm also very like nervous they're gonna shut me out or be like, who's this little girl at my front door, you know?
I
So
know.
but yeah, I'd be willing to learn and go along the process.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And what about, because I've been thinking about, well, I've been looking at their open houses, sometimes they have open house. So I was thinking about going to the open house and maybe not in the beginning, but maybe close to the end of it and see how, how the open house went and maybe even take them some stuff as far as safety,
Oh, that's good.
litigation. It was something I had printed up. I have a folder that I was going to take to an open house. And I was just too nervous to go. So maybe I'll do that this weekend.
Yeah. And we're gonna get into that in like week 5. We'll be talking about for sale by owners a little more, but I think that's great. Like anything we're talking about, if you approach them coming from value and not trying to sell them, that might be helpful as well. As Tarsha said, safety tips, even saying, hey, I like to keep a log of off-market properties for my clients too. And I'd love to include yours. So is it okay if I stop by for 15 minutes and get a kind of a overview of your home, and hopefully I can find one of my clients that might be a good fit for.
What about offering to do an open house for them? You're not necessarily trying to sell their home, but maybe get some clients.
Yeah, all I would say to that is default to your broker, make sure that's okay and there's no stipulations around that in your area. But if
Okay.
Isn't there like an E&O issue with that?
Yeah, that's why you'd want to check and
Yeah.
share. So
Okay.
all right, so do we have buy-in yet? Are you guys ready to? So I know 3 of you guys are ready to do some script practice. But how about the rest of you? All right, so back to the numbers then. We realized this morning that TDR agents are not average agents. Do you guys want to be? Gina's laughing at me already. Do you guys want to be average agents?
No.
No. So my fear is that I'm just full transparency. We have like 1 page for a week of questions we're supposed to ask you and stuff we're supposed to go over. And I don't really follow it to a T, but I did review it this morning. And unfortunately, the first question says around week 3, we start to see agents fall behind in completing the activities. So that means this is a widespread thing and a lot of average agents fall behind. What are you guys doing out there? Do you feel like you're falling behind? Yeah. Is it too late? No. Do you want to build a business for 12 weeks and run a business like a business, or do you want to do it for the rest of your career?
Want to do it for the rest of our career?
All right. So if you get a little bit behind, if you have vacation, you're allowed to go on vacation. If you get sick, you're allowed to get sick. That's not your fault. But take it in stride, focus on the activities first. And no matter what you choose for sale by owners, open houses, absolutely, people are going to say no. So you can't go into any form of lead generation with a fear that people are going to say no, because definitely people are going to say no, right? And it takes, as we found, 49 no's to get to a yes. But the more you do it, the more you practice your scripts, The more you figure out what you have to know and where you're lacking, the more confident you'll get, the better your conversion rate goes. And more successful you'll be long term. So a little setback in a couple of weeks is nothing to get too worried about. Just get buckled down and get caught up. We talked about it last week, right? Like, this is your business. This isn't someone else's. So what's that one thing we need to do? Just let me hear from two people. What's one thing you need to do this week to get back on track if you're falling behind?
Just do it.
Okay.
Make our calls, talk to people.
Yeah.
Lead generate, whatever you need to do.
Job description, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Vicky, what do you think?
I mean, I agree with Tasha, and I was just thinking about this afternoon. I actually I had gotten a lead from my assistant principal. He told me about a buyer that had an incident with the builder and it did not go well. So I did reach out to her, not even knowing what the outcome was going to be. And I just made up in my mind that I was going to take that step forward and set aside fear and make the phone call. And it actually turned out to be a very good phone call. Even though she has signed up with another realtor, she did tell me that she doesn't think that it's going to go forward because that realtor is scheduled to move out of town.
Oh,
So she has my number. She says she will give me a call. She even said that she has a friend that she will refer me to. So once I hung up the phone, I just, like Tasha just said, we just have to do it. I just decided that I was going to pick up the phone, make the phone call. It was a very easy and comfortable conversation. So I just need to do more of just doing it.
and Gina, I feel bad. We talked about all this and now you're here again. But I want to talk about the time management piece because we heard it in the earlier session. That's why this came up. And I hear it a lot. I have to time block for track, right? But what do you mean? Like that, what's that mean exactly? Like, are you breaking down your time blocks enough? Because we're supposed to do a lot of things: handwritten notes, watch videos, complete tasks, set up coffee dates, make our contacts. So if we just have one big chunk of time or small chunk of time for track, where do you start? And is that broken down enough, or do you need to really break it down further into each task? And then it's not, I didn't do track if you didn't get through all of it. It's okay, I didn't get through this one thing, but I completed all these things. I can be proud that I completed these things. That can give me a little bit of momentum that I completed these aspects. And okay, now we're on this journey. Let's fine tune it. Was it just a week where life happened, you got sick, or was it a prioritization issue, right? How can I address for next week and just be a little bit better? Fair enough. So I asked last week, what's your favorite scripts? I'd love to hear someone that's doing well with some sort of script or that they think they're doing well with. Or do you guys even think about it in that way? You guys just winging it? Oh, Veronica.
Hey, Kevin, it's really funny. I mean, even at my primary job, we use scripts. And I guess because I've been there so long, I don't even need to have the little screen in front of me. But we also mix scripts with authenticity so that we don't sound so scripted. But I never knew that I would need scripts in real estate because I am a new agent also. But it's very important because for compliance reasons in my position, but just needing to know what to say. And a lot of times we get off scripted questions. And so you're able to put them together from practicing those other scripts, so, and then of course, our calls and things are all monitored. So we have what's called a quality control compliance where You know, if you mess up, you know, you can definitely be affected financially. So yeah.
What's that authenticity component? What's that look like?
It's like you know, like we have scripts for certain things. Let's say it's an insurance issue. We have a script, you know, if they're asking, hey, why didn't Gap pay all of my balance from my vehicle being totaled? And so we have a script for that. But then sometimes they would ask things like, that's not part of a script, such as going forward, you know, I would say something like, hey, going forward, you know, on your next purchase of your vehicle, make sure you don't use those extensions because Gap doesn't cover extensions whenever your vehicle becomes a total loss. That's not a part of a script. We're not even required to advise a customer of that, but it is okay. You know, it's part of being transparent with the customer. So it's not a part of a script, but I can definitely advise that, you know, hey, you probably don't want to use those extensions.
So it's a mix of scripts to keep the conversation on track.
Exactly.
You have a knowledge base and an expertise in the area to really
Yes.
come across as a professional and have.
Yes. Because if you're just scripted, you'll get a customer that say, you know, you sound like a robot. You're just scripted. So, you know, and they don't like that. People don't like that.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel real or personable. So,
Cool. The same thing applies here, right? In real estate.
yeah.
All right. So what from the videos stood out to you guys? Veronica touched on one component. I don't know if you guys picked up on that, a major component of it. But what did you get out of them? Are we looking away again? Did everyone watch the videos? No. Okay. So what?
The one thing that I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. No, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say the one thing that I did write down was AIO, to acknowledge, isolate, and overcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that was real key, and it just stood out to me.
And we're going to get to that in a second. But before I do, so one part of it was memorize, internalize, and customize. And that's pretty much what Veronica was talking about. She knows the script inside and out. She knows the message she's trying to convey, but she doesn't sound like a robot. She made it her own, and she's able to dance with it and combine other scripts to get where she wants to go in the conversation. So a lot of that, not wanting to sound like a robot, is people don't even get to the memorize part before they're internalized or customized. So it just sounds weird and fake, right? All right. So we got a couple cards here. We have this little agent talk card game. You guys want to do some role playing? Who's a new agent here? A newer agent? Everyone's got experience, like more than a year.
I'm a year.
Yeah, okay. Do you feel experienced? Do you feel like a newer agent?
I feel new still.
Oh, cool. I get that. All right, so we're gonna talk about this AIO, acknowledge, isolate, and overcome, through this question. So the seller likes you and everything you have shown them, but says they prefer an agent with more experience. How do you handle that?
Just from reading a script before, it talks about letting them know that you have a team that work with you at your brokerage that are, you know, that's super experienced. I mean, and even if you know the years of everyone, you know, hey, listen, we have over 50 years of experience in that team. With us working together, we can definitely get you where you need to be. So that would definitely help, you know, because you're going to get that.
And when is that most likely going to come up? Like, who's gonna ask you that question?
It's probably gonna be probably a buyer. You mean like a buyer or a seller?
Well, it's a seller, but I guess I didn't phrase that right. I got a minute. What are they picking up on that they even ask you that question?
The inexperience, the inexperiencedness, the self-confidence.
So,
And I think it could be a seller that's sold multiple times,
mhm.
so they know exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think you're both right. And I do think the confidence plays a big role. If you come in there like this and you're just wondering what you're going to say next, looking like a deer in a headlight or stuttering over your words, they're going to start being like, how long you been at this, right? You know,
Yeah, they're gonna eat your lunch.
Oh, Jummy, I'm sorry. If you would do that, I can't read and talk at the same time. Lost my voice, I feel. I would also tell the seller that as a new agent, I have all the time to help him, right? Yeah. You're available. They didn't reach out, right? You did, those more experienced agents. And you're probably hungry, right? You want to get it done. So let's take a look at what our track workbook says. It's got all the answers for you. So, and with what Veronica was saying, our scripts are short. They're really not long, and you can sometimes at first glance you're looking and you're like, all right, that's like one line, right? Well, that's all you need to keep a conversation on track. And as you get comfortable with these, you can really start piecing them together and complete the whole conversation. So I pulled all these different places, same section, but kind of putting them together, right? So acknowledging they want someone more experienced. I can certainly appreciate that. May I ask you what about having a great deal of experience is important to you? And then isolating outside of that, what is your only concern when hiring me as a realtor? And then you need to overcome it. And you guys, you had some answers, right? Who wants to read this for me?
I am very motivated as evidenced by what I have done to earn the opportunity to sit here and meet with you today. Think about all of the experienced agents out there that have never reached out to you. I am current and relevant. I have never done business the way it's always been done, and only know the most effective and efficient methods for marketing, negotiating, and selling your property in today's environment. I have support. Not only am I supported by my broker and the other agents in my office, I also personally work with a real estate coach that I leverage for support in unfamiliar situations. We all should recognize what we don't know. I have simply taken steps to guarantee I have access to all the information, resources, and support I need.
There you go. So would you use that wording exactly? Or would you change the wording a bit?
I mean, you could use it. I mean, it doesn't have to be word for word, but I mean, use it where you feel comfortable with it.
Right, yeah, and get comfortable with it. And then when you're comfortable and you're listening, you can have a better conversation, right? That is the most important part about learning scripts, is not sitting there thinking about what you're going to say while they're talking. And if you can handle whatever comes out of their mouth, you're comfortable enough that you can actually listen and respond to them in real time like a human being. Who's looked at the script booklet? Look through it.
I have it printed out.
Nice. Love it. What do you like out of there? What stood out to you?
All of the different scenarios.
A lot of stuff in there.
Yes.
Good.
Trying to get it out now. I have it. I take it with me every day, but I just need to look at it more.
Well, in the meantime, let's try one more. You're having a conversation with a friend and they ask how the real estate market is. instead of replying, "Oh, it's great," what would you say?
I'm sorry, I missed the question, Kevin.
So you're having a conversation with a friend and they ask you how the real estate market is. Instead of replying, "It's great," what could you say?
You can definitely tell them what's happening today. I did see on our workplace, there's a mortgager that sends us real estate updates, letting us know where the market is. Right now, with mortgage bonds being up, we're at almost 7% interest. So that would definitely be something you would want to look at the start of your day. So that definitely, when that question come up, you can definitely answer where you're at as of today.
If you're talking to a potential buyer, would you want to say, what sounds better? The interest rates are going up. They're all the way at 7% now versus, oh, the mortgage rates, they're kind of returning to historic norms. I mean, we had a crazy few years where they were really low, but I don't know when that's going to come back down, if ever. But right now we're getting back to normal market and it's looking better for buyers.
I think I like that.
Right.
Definitely.
It's a balance, right? You want to be honest and you don't want to sugarcoat it, but you don't want to scare them away right off the bat.
Right, right.
And then what could you say next?
Well, I always tell, well, not always, but when I'm talking to buyers who are afraid of the interest rate, I always tell them that the best time to buy is when you find something that you like and that you can afford it.
Mhm.
So, let's get you into a house now, and then maybe in a couple of years when the interest rate is down, then we can always do, or you can always look into refinancing.
Yeah. And could you follow it up with a question?
Probably.
And it doesn't have to be a real invasive. How long have you been in your home?
Right.
What was your interest rate when you got it? The one I use a lot is, I don't know, it depends. Are you buying or selling? Puts it back on them. They'll start telling you stuff that you might not know and that you don't have to pry for. We had some good ones earlier. Gina, do you remember the word they used? The market is, how's the market? The market's resilient. Isn't that kind of, Veronica, we lost you? No, she can't hear us. I don't know what's going on. But that's kind of intriguing to me if you use a word like that. I'd want to know, well, what do you mean by that, right? And then they might ask you questions. Anna, what do you say?
I honestly don't have nothing to say about it. I guess I've never been asked that question.
My goodness.
Yeah.
How long you been doing it?
I've been in real estate, I want to say it's 2 months probably by now.
Yeah, so you're brand new.
Yeah.
So why don't you think people are asking you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm putting myself out there. I'm trying to do a lot better. But I don't know. So
Does it come up naturally for you in conversation?
no, not really. Sorry, I'm shutting down.
No, it's okay. So I guess I'm just wondering, like, do you think you're being a secret agent, or do you think you could have more conversations about real estate?
I think I could have more conversations about real estate, but I wouldn't say I'm being a secret agent. I try to do open houses like every Friday.
Nice.
But I'm also currently in the process of getting flyers sent out to different subdivisions in my area. But I just need to work more on like what to say, I guess. So yeah, I have people reach out, but it's mainly like leasing clients
Okay.
or leasing people. And it's a little easy to work with them. But as far as like people asking questions about like the market and everything, I've never been asked it. So
Well, your time will come. Right?
yeah.
So are you targeting that specific neighborhood? Are you trying to like really create a presence there?
For right now, I'm kind of just targeting like this neighborhood because it's kind of expensive to send out the flyers. I think it's like it came out to like 165. So it's not bad. I'm hoping I get something out of it, but I'm trying to get there. So
Okay. Well, I think, do you check the MLS for that neighborhood fairly regularly?
yeah, but I don't really understand how to like read the MLS. Like I know how to look up and do things, but I'm still trying to learn how to read the market because I really want to start like posting market updates on my social media rather than like tips or letting them know like I'm here or putting houses that are like listed by other agents. So yeah, that's one of my main goals is to kind of learn because I see like other companies they'll like post it, but I want to do it on my own.
Yeah. And I think that would be a great place to start. So when you have that conversation, you at least have a frame of reference. Start with where you're focused, really figure out what's going on there, stay on top of it, and grow from there, right?
Mhm.
So we do have a template in, I think it's in week 2. It's in one of the weeks. No, it's later on, but where you can use that and it'll tell you what to look up. And then I don't know how your MLS is set up, but usually there's like a little box that has all the stats. And I would just start with one, get real comfortable knowing one and truly understand what it means, and then grow from there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
All right. Well, what else, folks? Did we talk enough about scripts? Do you guys have other questions, challenges? Any scripts you'd like to share? Anything like that?
Okay, in the script book, I
Mhm.
was looking for a script when you go to new builds.
Okay.
So when I'll go, but then I don't know what to say. I mean, I kind of know what to say, but then I don't. Because when I get there, then that's when I freeze up. I don't remember anything. So
So what's your intention of going there?
I really want to, if I can get a client walking in, I would like to do that. Or I've asked them sometimes, because I've seen other agents have listings in new builds. So I've asked maybe a couple, how do they give listings to realtors
Mhm.
just for more exposure? So that hasn't, worked out. But seems like when you go in there, and I don't know if they can just sense my nerves, but they're not real receptive,
Okay.
some of them. So
Let me ask the other folks before I chime in. What would you guys say, Natasha? Vicky, I saw you unmute.
Well, I've gone to new builds a couple of times, and the first thing that I always ask is, what's the status of the community? Do you have anything that's available? Or are they completely sold out? And so once I find that out, and then and I have asked before about getting listens, but that didn't pan out. But I do find out the status of the community, and then I just ask them, do they mind if I just, walk through just so that I can see what their layout looks like and what they have to offer? Because I may have some potential clients that I would like to bring, to the area to visit. And then I also ask me, I take pictures. So I just try to get as comfortable with them as possible, so that they just don't sense. And I'm really not nervous when I go there. I don't know. Maybe it's the teacher in me. I don't know. I just like to to talk a lot, but it's relaxing. But find out the status of the community first.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would lead with questions and come from curiosity. And I think she had a good way to put it. You just, I've been speaking to several people about new builds. I'm trying to just get comfortable with what's available out there What makes your home stand out? Or what sets your homes apart?
And then you can also ask them about any incentives that they may have. Or any promotions.
Okay,
You can buy them lunch.
that's a good idea.
Or people do like they'll do like open house kits, like you can just bring them a little like thing to get through the day as you pop like a pop by, basically a little granola bar, bottle of water. Say, hey, I'm just checking things out. I want to educate myself so I can better educate my client on all the new construction around here. I brought this for you. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Okay,
You know?
I have a lot in my area, so I want to start targeting them.
Yeah.
My question is, how do you find them? Like, is there like a site that we go to, or is just gotta go drive the streets and find all these places that have new construction?
Do you guys have them, do a lot of your builders put them in the MLS, or at least like a to be built option in the MLS?
I don't know if they have that. I'm in Glen Heights, so they're building everywhere. So that's
Okay.
how.
Okay.
We have in ours, if you go to like advanced search, you can, this could be completely different. I don't know what you guys use, but it says to be built, or I think there's a new home, like there's filters you can put in there to find different ones. Gina, you're nodding. Is that correct?
No, I was just listening.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I've never seen that in our MLS, but the way that I find new builds, if I know the builder, then I'll just Google where they're building. Because it's all over the internet, and then just start visiting those communities.
It's a good idea. Thanks.
And you guys, I mean, I'm only in the locker room group and workplace, but can you post on workplace? Open it up to all the other agents and leadership and say, hey, who do I need to talk to about new construction? I want to get more versed in that aspect of the sales.
Yeah, we have a lot of agents that do new builds.
Yeah, so I would ask them. All right, folks. So next week, it's a big week. Social media and video. And we're going to be asking you to do a video, obviously. So who is ready? Anna, you do a decent amount of videos, don't you?
Yeah, mainly they're kind of just like TikToks, but I do videos on my open houses. Like shoot the actual house, and then sometimes if I'm not too busy while I'm at the open house, I'll just take another video like, hey guys, I'm here at the open house, don't forget to come by, just stuff like that. But I would say I'm pretty comfortable with videos. I haven't done a live just yet, but it is my goal, because I write out everything I'm gonna say, and then once I'm about to do it, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do it, because what if they ask me a question and I don't know what it is?
Oh, no.
So I shut down.
Well, okay, so we've talked about this a little bit. So what do you need to do to start building that confidence and knowledge this week?
Pretty much just like practice with what I can say to them, and just go over the scripts. I need to go over the scripts a lot more than what I do. So I will own up to that, but yeah.
Well, that's why we're doing this, right? Figure out where we need to improve and what we need to work on. What sort of knowledge do you feel least confident in? Because you said it a couple times.
I feel like title and lending. I'm pretty comfortable with going over questions like that, just because I do have people that I know I can go to, and I have had like, I guess, like in-person coffee meetings. Like we'll go and like educate me. Sometimes I'll just reach out. Like when I very first started, that's what I was doing. I was reaching out and like, hey, you know, would you mind just like educating me more? That way I can know what to say or what to do. And they'll just kind of go over like what loans, or if there's something that they mention that I'm stuck on, just kind of like, oh, no worries. Like I have a preferred lender that I work with that you can contact, you know, so just stuff like that.
All right. So are you guys ready for social media week?
Yes.
Awesome. Are you guys ready to start practicing scripts regularly?
Yes.
All right. And we talked about it before. There, you have options, right? You can do it in front of the mirror. You can record yourself. I don't like it, but it's effective. And you can work with each other. In the morning, we've talked about it. You guys set up some of your own stuff. And if you guys want to work with someone outside your brokerage, we have the Locker Room Nation Facebook page, and people post looking for script partners in there as well. So if that's a little easier, working with someone outside of your market, that might be a good option too. And ultimately, I recommend finding more than one person, because you're going to deal with more than one personality when you're out there selling houses. So you want to get comfortable with the different personality types, different styles of conversation, that whole thing. All right. You guys are awesome. Keep it up. If you get off track, get back on track.
Yes.
Doing this for 12 weeks. We're doing this for our careers. So
Where are we reporting the numbers?
Hmm?
Where are we reporting the numbers?
Okay, if you go into workplace, I know Cassie set up a calendar invite too. You can find it. Give me 1 second and I can put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You guys have any other questions about anything track related at the moment?
No.
All righty, here we go. Put it in the chat. All right, so I would just take that and bookmark it. That way you can find it real easy every week. All right, folks. Well, have a good week. Keep it up. Make those contacts. Follow the agent job description. All right.
We will. You too.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night. Bye.